Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with a Pittsburgh Steelers review and reaction to their 27-13 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Pittsburgh now 10-4 on the season. Let's talk about it. As always, before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. So Pittsburgh, 10-4, terrible loss, their worst loss of the season, I would wager, in terms of just their performance and how well they played, or how well they did not play, I should say. One quick positive, Pittsburgh did officially clinch the playoffs. They will be in the postseason in 2024. They did not do so by winning, of course, but because the Miami Dolphins lost and the Indianapolis Colts lost as well, Pittsburgh officially sewed up their spot, and they can win the AFC North if they beat the Baltimore Ravens on the road Saturday afternoon. All right, let's dive into this one, and really there isn't a whole lot to say that you guys don't already know. I felt, and that was probably, I hope, coming through and how I talked about it in the podcast on Friday, and then for my preview on the channel that went up on Saturday, I did not sound super optimistic or confident, especially without George Pickens and Deshaun Elliott, though both guys did play. I don't know if Pittsburgh wins this game either. The Steelers saw the model of exactly what they aspire to be, and they've done some good things this year, but they're not on that Eagles level, not by a long shot, and not yet. So the Eagles just won the line of scrimmage. They dominated time of possession. They ran the ball. They weren't incredibly efficient. There weren't many breakout runs, but they just took it to Pittsburgh. They wore them down for 4 quarters of this game. So starting with the Steelers offense, a really poor game plan overall from OC Arthur Smith. I've talked about when he's had good game plans. The Bengals game, for example, I've talked about when he's had poor game plans. The first Browns game, and this one certainly in the latter camp. I think this game might be his worst called game of the entire season. And the one thing I stressed upon coming into this one, and I get it's tough without George Pickens and you're hamstrung by that and his limitations, but if you've played your kind of your traditional game plan of let's play tight, let's have 12 personnel, 13 personnel, make this thing into a real one-on-one in a phone booth type of game, you weren't going to win. Pittsburgh was not going to have success running the football, and the Eagles were going to go down into their 5-2 front, their 6-2 front, their 5-down looks, and dominate up front. And that's exactly what happened. I don't hate the toss play as much as you do. I know you're already going to the comment section telling me how wrong I am about that, and probably already are venting about the toss play in general. I get running more on the edges. You couldn't just run duo up the middle this game, but you can't run toss out of 12 personnel when everything's still heavy, because Pittsburgh does not have success running against those 5-down fronts. The Eagles will even use 6-down fronts with how versatile one of their linebackers, Zach Bond, is, and Pittsburgh just is not good at winning those battles. And I thought against the Bengals a couple weeks ago, they didn't run against those 5-down fronts. They threw against them consistently and had success. And Pittsburgh just ran into a brick wall and never really changed their game plan until circumstance made them late in the half when the offense opened up and they went more tempo and had more rhythm and had success, the only success of the game that way. So big issue there, obviously. And then some other things like playing Cordero Patterson more in the second half, not getting Jalen Warren more opportunities. Stuff like that certainly irked me. But just lack of fluidity, lack of rhythm, lack of screen game, quick game, try to get this offense into a flow. Overall, Pittsburgh was in third and forever. I think their first 5 third downs were all 3rd and 8+, including some 3rd and 18 variety. And so that obviously doesn't help. But you didn't do yourself favors by not having any sort of success on first down. Real big blemish there. Obviously, the pass game, Pittsburgh had no answers. The Eagles' corners, their scheme had Russell Wilson and the Steelers team just nothing available. They were batting balls down, and Pittsburgh was playing in long situation, just not enough horizontal spacing, and you just kind of felt like Vic Fangio was playing chess and the Steelers were playing Connect Four. Defensively, I thought Pittsburgh made some plays. Obviously, they won the turnover battle, and they had 2 first-quarter takeaways. The Eagles do a great job taking care of the football. They did not have a turnover in the past 4 games coming into this matchup. They had 2 in the first 15 minutes, 1 on special teams, and the punch-out by T.J. Watt defensively. So it's in some sense hard to be too mad about their performance because they were on the field for darn near 80 plays. Some of that their own fault, not getting stops, but obviously Pittsburgh's offense was just so inefficient in this one, not capitalizing on chances. Off those 2 turnovers, Pittsburgh got a grand total of 3 points, and that's not a winning formula. You get the takeaway, but you don't do much with it, and that's not the complementary football Pittsburgh has often played this season. Pittsburgh just got worn down, and the tackling in space was poor. There were critical third down missed tackles by Dante Jackson, by Patrick Queen, by Joey Porter Jr. DeMonte Casey had a missed tackle on a Jalen Hurts quarterback draw that went for 23 yards. And I mean, the Eagles just controlled the ball, especially in the second half. I mean, the Pittsburgh ran, what's this, that 11 plays in the second half. And obviously, I should have mentioned the Najee fumble too offensively, and that was such a killer. You had some drive going, you had a flea flicker, a great catch by Calvin Austin, a lone bright spot offensively, then the fumble by Harris, which is just, again, you can be mad at the toss play, but just catch the football. Like, that's the easiest thing in the world for Harris to do. Should have done it. It's on him. I don't blame the actual play call on that one. You may disagree. I'm sure you do. But, yeah, just Pittsburgh. I mean, the Eagles had the ball for 40 minutes in this one. They ran almost 80 plays. They played their game. They used a tush push for a touchdown and short yardage situations. And they just controlled this thing, basically start to finish. Pittsburgh had a little juice late in the first half. Pat Fryman with a great touchdown catch. I'm kind of bouncing around, but the story is that the Eagles played the Steelers' ideal vision of this game, and that's really all there is to it. Just want to also at least praise TJ Watt in this one. Great game from him. 2 sacks, a forced fumble. Hopefully the ankle injury is okay. First report from Mike Tomlin, it's a low ankle sprain, not high ankle, which is, of course, good news. Will he be ready for the Ravens game? We'll see. The short weeks are not going to help, playing in 6 days on Saturday, then the Wednesday game after that. It's going to go the same for any injured players, including ones who did not play in this game, like Elliott, like George Pickens, like Larry Ogunjobi. I thought special teams did some good things. They came out high energy, physical. Robinson, again, that forced fumble, that was huge. Sets Pittsburgh up in short yardage, or a short field, I should say, and only came away with 3. There was that scuffle in the end zone. The Eagles should have been flagged. They weren't, but that's not the reason why Pittsburgh lost this game. I mean, it's an issue. It was bad by the officials, obviously, but I'm not going to use that as a crutch and say that's why Pittsburgh lost this game. No, the Eagles just took it to the Steelers for 60 minutes, and that's why Pittsburgh lost. So that's all I got. That's really all there is to it. I thought Pittsburgh had a poor game plan offensively, and then defensively just wore down, and they had their own miscues as well. Obviously, A.J. Brown had a lot of success, and again, Pittsburgh's corners were overmatched, and that's how you get that outcome, 27-13, and it didn't even really feel that close in the score. Obviously, it's not all that close in the first place. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video. Subscribe to the channel and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. We'll have more coverage, and check out the site if you want to kind of get the full breakdown of what happened, as we got to move pretty quickly here. Again, the good news is Pittsburgh has clinched the playoff spot. You win on Saturday against Baltimore. The good feelings are back, and you've won the division, and life is good. If you don't, of course, if you lose that game, then you've dropped 2 in a row. But questions about can you beat good teams, and of course questions of can you win the division certainly come into play. So big week coming up, no doubt about that. Again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.